When the machine spoke back. The Cambridge debate that changed everything. The grand auditorium at Cambridge University was filled to its lofty rafters with an audience that had thronged from every corner of academia and beyond. There were physicists in rumpled tweed jackets, philosophers in slightly anxious postures, neuroscientists whispering animatedly about synapses and substrates, and computer scientists balancing coffee cups on their knees while clutching notebooks brimming with code. The overhead lamps illuminated the varnished oak of the stage, and the smell of centuries-old parchment from the distant library seemed to mingle in the crisp evening air. Everyone was gathered for one of the most anticipated debates in recent memory, a showdown between two brilliant young scholars who had each risen to sudden prominence in their respective fields. The debate's focal question was both simple and impossibly complex. Is consciousness merely computational, or is there a non-computational element that defies algorithmic description? On one side of the stage, wearing a rather frayed academic gown over his black suit, stood Rupert Pemberton. Rupert had only just been awarded his PhD in mathematical logic and theoretical physics. Despite his youth, he had gained notice for his bold expositions on quantum theory and Gödelian arguments regarding the mind. He was tall, lanky, with a slightly unkempt mop of hair that fell over his forehead whenever he shifted his weight from foot to foot. He had the air of someone whose brilliant mind often forgot that his body also required attention. A missing button on his cuff, a tie that was only half pulled up. None of that mattered when he launched into his enthralling discourses on logic, geometry, and the fundamental nature of reality. He was, by any measure, a charismatic thinker deeply influenced by Sir Roger Penrose's ideas that consciousness entailed processes that no classical computer could simulate, that Gödel's incompleteness theorem provided a logical wedge into the question of whether minds exceeded the capacity of algorithmic systems, and that perhaps the quantum realm held the key to bridging that gap. On the other side, standing with self-assured composure, was Graham Highton. If Rupert was the absent-minded professor type, Graham was the purposeful technological evangelist. He had recently completed a doctorate in computer science, focusing on artificial intelligence and deep learning systems.